Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're jumping into a tool that can give pretty much any business a serious leg up: commercial intelligence. It's all about turning the ocean of information out there into your own secret weapon.
So let me just start by asking you a question. Think about the last big call you had to make for your business. Was it built on a rock-solid foundation of facts? Or, if you're being really honest with yourself, was it maybe just a little bit of a gut feeling, a hunch? You know, it happens more than you'd think. But the scary reality is, so many businesses are out there making moves with massive blind spots. Making critical decisions in a vacuum like that, well, it's incredibly risky. I mean, imagine launching a brand new product with no idea what your competition is about to do. That's a huge gamble you just don't need to take. So, how do you flip the lights on? How do you get that crystal clear view of the entire playing field? Well, that's where our main topic for today comes in: commercial intelligence. At its heart, commercial intelligence, or CI, as you'll often hear it called, is really just a system. It's a process for gathering, analyzing, and then actually using information about everything happening outside your own four walls. Think of it like your company's own personal GPS or radar system, always scanning the horizon, helping you navigate and make way smarter moves.
And what's so cool is just how broad this is. It's not just about spying on your competitors. Though, yeah, it definitely covers what they're launching or how they're pricing things. It also dives deep into your customers. Who are they really? And what do they actually need from you? It keeps an eye on the bigger picture too. You know, market trends, new tech, even things like your own suppliers, looking for risks before they become real problems.
And hey, just a quick heads up, don't get thrown off by the name. You might hear people call this competitive intelligence or even corporate intelligence. It doesn't matter. It all boils down to the exact same powerful idea: getting a strategic edge through information.
Okay, so let's dig a little deeper because this next part is maybe the most important distinction we're going to make. It's the difference between just having a pile of raw data and having true, actionable intelligence. They are not the same thing. This slide just lays it out so perfectly. Over on the left, you've got data, things like market reports, news articles, just a bunch of raw numbers. It's just stuff. But on the right, that's intelligence. That same data gets transformed into knowing what your competitor is planning next, or spotting a new need your customers have, or seeing a clear, obvious path for where to invest. It's really the difference between having a list of ingredients and having the actual recipe. And this quote just nails it. It's not just raw data, it's data turned into intelligence. And here's the key part: insights you can actually act on. That's the whole point. If you can't do something with it, it's not really intelligence. All right, so we get what it is, and we get why it's so much more than just a spreadsheet full of data. But how does it actually work? Let's break down the CI process. This isn't some vague concept. It's a real structured cycle. It's actually a pretty straightforward 5-step loop. Step 1 is planning. You figure out the key questions you desperately need answers to. Then, step 2 is gathering. You go out and ethically collect data. Step 3, and this is really where the magic happens, is analyzing. You connect the dots and turn all that raw data into something meaningful. Step 4 is dissemination. You have to get that intelligence to the right people, the ones who can actually make a decision. And finally, step 5, feedback. You look back and figure out how to make the whole process even better next time. And here's something you absolutely have to remember. This is not a one-and-done task. The market is always shifting, your competitors are always making moves, and your customers are always changing. So real commercial intelligence is a continuous, never-ending loop that keeps your business sharp and ahead of the curve. Which brings us to the whole reason we're talking about this: the ultimate payoff, the strategic advantage. Let's see what it looks like to put all of this intelligence into action and actually win. So, enough with the theory, right? What does this actually look like when the rubber meets the road? How does a process like this go from a diagram on a slide to a real-world business win? Well, let's take a super specific example from the material we looked at: a quantity surveying firm. Now, this is a company working in the construction industry, which, as you can imagine, is insanely competitive. Every single contract matters. So this firm uses their CI process, and they uncover a game-changing piece of intel. They notice one of their main competitors is just consistently winning all the big, juicy contracts. And the burning question is just, why? So they dig in, they analyze the data, and they find the answer. This competitor is offering two very specific, high-value services that nobody else is: digital modeling and integrated cost management. And bam!
That's the aha moment. That one single insight changes absolutely everything. Suddenly, it's not a mystery anymore why they're losing bids. Now this firm has a crystal clear strategic path forward. They know exactly where the market is going and what they need to do to catch up and start winning again.
So you see the payoff here, right? It's huge. When you use CI, you start anticipating what's coming instead of just reacting to it. You can set a strategy that's actually based on data, not guesswork. You stop losing ground to your rivals, and you know exactly where to invest your time and your money to get the biggest bang for your buck. But let's just flip that around for a second. What's the risk of just not doing this? What happens if you just keep operating on those hunches we talked about? Well, the answer is pretty simple, and honestly, it brings us right back to where we started. Without commercial intelligence, companies are forced to make their most important decisions in a total vacuum. And when you do that, you miss the big shifts, you fall behind the competition, and you end up getting left in the dust. So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. When you think about your own business, your own industry, what crucial opportunity, what game-changing insight is just hiding there in plain sight, waiting for you to find it in your data?